This perp back with another video, and what a way to end off 2021. But if you're listening to this, it is the brand new year. It is 2022. Happy New Year's to everybody. And, shout outs to Netflix for dropping 2 seasons of Cobra Kai, because I thought with just them 2 seasons dropping in the same year, I thought they did a fantastic job with both of these seasons. It's kind of hard. I think it's a little bit too early for me to really tell which one is my favorite. I definitely want to rewatch this as soon as possible and possibly get out a live discussion, get a panel together. So usually I would have just reviewed each episode. So this time around, because that was a lot to do, to review each episode back to back to back, 10 episodes. That was exhausting, trying to slim down on things. But now I'm going to try to do my best to break down as much as possible. I know a lot of people haven't seen all of season 4 yet, but you have been warned. There will be spoilers in this review. So if you haven't finished it, or if you aren't caught up with Cobra Kai, or if you're in the middle like season 3, I don't know why you're on this video. You should be stopping the video now. Go watch that and come back. Like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter at perpminer420. So this season picks up right where the last one left off, with, LaRusso and Johnny getting into a fight with Kreese. But before, Danny was able to, he was about to kill Kreese in that moment, but then Sam kind of popped up and he kind of snapped out of it. But they made this deal saying if Cobra Kai loses, Kreese has to pack things up and Cobra Kai has to completely just disappear. But on the flip side of things, if Johnny and LaRusso lose, they have to pack it up and stop teaching forever. So this is really interesting how they set up this whole entire season, because I said this in my prediction. I was like, these two have two completely different styles, so it's definitely going to clash, and it's definitely going to cause some drama. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of drama, like interpersonal drama with these characters, personal things, and I like that we get right into it. They try to they get right into the training, because they only have a few months before the all Valley tournament and stuff and whatnot. And there's some interesting twists and turns, and I'm curious to see how people feel about the changes that they made with the all Valley tournament this time around, because the changes that they made definitely kind of makes me feel like this is their way of introducing new characters, kind of just throwing them in there. And I want to talk about one specific new character that we get introduced to. You see on the poster here is Kenny, and Kenny is the younger brother of Sean. Sean is the character that was locked up with Robby, and I thought that whole reveal was really fucking dope. And Kenny, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with Kenny's character, and also how his character has a lot of parallels to Robby's character, because Kenny's character, his mom is not always home. His father is in the military. They're moving around. He's the new kid and stuff like that. And they kind of do something similar to how, LaRusso was introduced in the Karate Kid, you know what I'm saying, with him being chased by bullies. And I like how they're giving Anthony, LaRusso's youngest son, some more screen time, and that pretty much sets up a whole new rivalry right there. Like, that's the younger generation. I really like Kenny's character. Let me know what your thoughts on with Kenny, if you've seen up to that point. I think he's going to be he's a really dope addition to the whole entire series. Moving on to everything else, the first half of this season was really interesting to me. I thought it was very strong, seeing the different styles between Johnny and LaRusso, and how they couldn't really come to terms on what style to kind of use. LaRusso always, had issues with the way Johnny was teaching. Also, like the episode where you see them both kind of learn from each other, and then they take each other's students and kind of teach them what they know. And we kind of get some connection between Sam and Johnny, and she started to kind of see uh, more of what Johnny is doing compared to her father, if that makes sense. Like, she's kind of tired of always listening to her father. She kind of just wants to make decisions for her own. She doesn't always want to hear what Daniel has to say. Most of the time, Sam's character is just really fucking weird to me. Like, I just can't. The way she treats Tori in this, I'm gonna get into Tori because she also gets a lot more screen time, and you kind of, there's some things that happen between, Amanda and Tori, and how, Amanda felt some type of way about her house getting fucked up and stuff by the house fight at the finale of season 3. So I like that they addressed that as well. That, Amanda kind of made that mistake of judging a book before you read it type of thing. And we learned a lot more about Amanda's character, that, she is a little bit more similar to what Tori's gone through, and she doesn't want to see Tori go down kind of that, go down a dark path and whatnot. So I kind of like that they kind of threw that in. Like I said, they got all these different elements with all these different characters, but with Sam and just how she treated Tori was really fucked up. Like, you really see that this karate shit turned everybody into kind of assholes. Nobody is really like pure-hearted except for like Miguel. Miguel is the only one that's really like kind of really selfless. He makes a very selfless decision at the end of the season, which I can respect. I want to kind of rewatch it and really like digest it. But yeah, like I said, I like how this whole entire season starts off. We're seeing the two different styles of Daniel with the Miyagi-Do and Johnny with Eagle Fang, and how they're clashing. But it becomes to a point where, they are able to respect one another's, styles. But where things kind of clash is the whole parenting thing, because outside of the karate stuff, that is affecting their real lives. And I really like that about this whole entire season or series as a whole, is that it's not just about karate. It's like, them doing this karate stuff has been good, but also has some drawbacks, because it becomes personal. A lot of these characters, a lot of these younger characters have a lot of personal vendettas against each other, and it's always kind of centered around love. Robby has a beef with Miguel because he pretty much took Sam from him, and Sam kind of chose Miguel. Then you have Tori that feels some type of way towards Sam because she is with Miguel and that's her ex. And and I kind of do like the whole Robby and Tori getting together because they are very similar, have very similar backgrounds, so it only makes sense. Now let me talk about Kreese and Terry Silver, because I am so glad that I watched the Karate Kid Part 3 right into going into this, because going into this, you wouldn't really probably not know what Terry's whole motive is. His whole goal was to have Cobra Kai in multiple different places around the country and stuff. That was always his goal. So when Kreese goes to go find him, he's kind of faking this lifestyle, this whole vegan lifestyle, which is not his lifestyle at all. And Kreese kind of awakens that beast, that sleeping beast. And I really like Terry's kind of motive in here. And I always felt like he was always going to kind of sweep the rug underneath Kreese's feet. Because even those two have two different completely different styles, even though they've been through a lot with, like, you know, Vietnam, and, you know, them using Cobra Kai to kind of have this new light shined on with, like, these kids and stuff. That was the whole goal, pretty much. But those two even clash, and I really like that dynamic, and just how Terry really had the right go at these things, because, you know, with Cobra Kai, Eagle Fang, and Miyagi-Do, they're still beefing with each other, and I really like episode 5 where they almost seem like they're about to have a whole nother brawl at the movies. And they also kind of they were watching Bloodsport. That was pretty cool. Little 80s reference and whatnot. So that was really interesting. I thought we were going to get a brawl right there. There's a lot of interesting twists and turns. I know I'm kind of going all over the place with this review, but I really like how just you see all this different conflict with all these different characters, and I just feel like Cobra Kai is here to kind of stay, not too long, because I still think that they got a few more seasons in the tank, just because of how they introduce new characters in here. And doesn't seem like a lot of characters are going to have resolution in season 5. We'll have to wait and see where that goes, because supposedly season 5 is already in the can. I don't know if it's like finished shooting, or if it's, you know, done, like, just being written and it's ready to, you know, be filmed and whatnot. But anyways, that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, I like the whole aspect of, you know, just the different type of styles of the senseis. That you have the drama between that, them kind of juggling being parents and stuff, and what Johnny's kind of dealing with Miguel, and still regretting fucking things up with Robby, because he feels like Robby's, like, too far gone. But they kind of mend that. I don't know where they're gonna actually go with that, because Robby can end up flipping sides. I don't think he will. I think Silver's gonna get into his head even more going into season 5, based on just how this season ended. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you even have Hawk in this season, where he has to deal with the consequences of switching sides, like betraying Cobra Kai. And Robby's the one that pretty much cuts off his mohawk, and then that pretty much cuts off his whole confidence. And then you got Dimitri, that he kind of has to pretty much give Hawk that pep talk, like, look, man, you can't quit on this just because you lost your mohawk, bro. Like, you got me into this. You got to man up pretty much and, you know, face this shit, because I can't do this without you. And I really like that. Dimitri is a really good character as well in this. He always kind of brings that humor. I just still don't know how he pulled that. And they even make a joke about that. This season is definitely a lot more mature compared to previous seasons, because obviously these characters are getting older. They're starting to talk about college and stuff like that, dealing with, like, real world situations. And that's another element that I like about this show overall, like the realization, when you take away the karate stuff, you still got to deal with the real life stuff. So, you know, we didn't get too much of the whole, like, car dealership thing. That kind of completely took, like, a back seat. So, and going back to Anthony's character real quick, you know, they kind of come to the realization of why he's acting the way he's acting. And I'm looking forward to seeing him actually joining Miyagi-Do in season 5, because it definitely seems like that's where they're going to set up, with him and Kenny end up fighting and whatnot. Anyways, but going back to Terry Silver, because I feel like he's a perfect villain to come in at this time, where, you know, just, it's all over the place. Like, Cobra Kai is really all over the place. Their numbers are low, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, he has this specific way of how he wants to win. You know, that's all he wants to do, is just win, you know? And he's very loyal to Kreese. And you really start to see in this season that this PTSD shit ain't no joke, and it's really taking a toll on both of these characters. So let's get towards the end of this season where, we finally get to episode 6. I think this is going to be a very controversial episode on just how they change up the All Valley rules to include more women. So they split up the division. Now there's going to be a male and there's going to be a female division, which is cool to me because, now that gives just the women, their own kind of spotlight, their own kind of thing. That's cool. They have to add these skill challenges. I could have done without the skill challenge shit because I felt like the whole montage went on a little bit too long. Out of this whole season, I think episode 6 was a little bit, it was probably the weakest in my opinion. But then it kind of picks up after that. We get introduced to a slew of different characters like Devin Lee. She joins Eagle Fang, and I think she's a perfect fit for that. And she's very smart, very calculated. She uses math, which is really interesting, and how she's going to kind of utilize that with her style. I forget the other chick that joined Cobra Kai. Don't really care. I do like that they brought back Aisha. I think that's what her name was. I'm probably drawing a blank on her name. But that was cool that we got a kind of a scene and possibly her coming back into the show. Maybe. We'll see. So that's their way of pretty much introducing more characters, bringing other characters, female characters into the story. I'm fine with that. Like I said, after episode 5, let me talk about that fight that LaRusso and Johnny had, because it ended up in a tie. So they still haven't settled that. That might be how they end the whole entire series, with them having one last fight to end them all. Another highlight I will say is the little tag team match that we had when they had the prom episode. That was cool. You had Robby and Tori versus Sam and Miguel. I thought that was a really cool little scrap. I like Robby's character as well. His little turn as well. I think that's another highlight compared to season 3. Him beating everybody's ass in Cobra Kai to pretty much establish his dominance. That was epic. I'll always give him respect for that. And I like that he pretty much has this whole back and forth with Johnny saying I don't trust you. I don't trust LaRusso. I don't trust anybody. I don't even trust Kreese. And that's how he operates. So it's going to be curious, because at the end of this the season, you have the finale. We have the whole tournament, and it comes down to a few people, for the finals. It comes down to Robby and Hawk, I did not see that coming, because pretty much something happens with Miguel where he tries to, I guess, do the maneuver that Johnny was trying to show them earlier on in the season, and he kind of fucked up his hip, or he pulled something, and he wasn't feeling right about it, and this is where he kind of bows out. He kind of lost himself, and he wants to kind of go on this kind of self-discovery to go find his father, and he's just kind of caught up. He's kind of it's a lot for him. He's dealing with the pressure of going to a good school, also wanting to kind of please his 2 different senseis, also wanting to make sure his mom's happy, because now he pretty much figured out that him and Carmen and Johnny are pretty much dating, so that kind of changes everything, and it's kind of making him feel weird. So that's why he wants to kind of go out and explore and meet his father. He's some type of dangerous dude. So and Carmen didn't tell the whole detail that the father doesn't even know that it's Miguel. So that's gonna be some drama. Johnny has to go find him, but then we get to the final fight between Hawk and, one of the final fights we get between Hawk and Robby, and wow, these finales just keep getting better and better, in my opinion. I feel like once this series is all done, it's going to be interesting to see people's comparison of all these different finales, because season 2 set such a high bar that I can understand some people didn't like season three's finale, which I personally do like season three's finale a little bit more than 2, but 2 like carried a lot of stakes. But this one was really dope because you get Hawk getting the win, and I never expected that. Miguel kind of bowed out, but that left another opportunity for Miguel or Hawk to pretty much get the W. And that was a really good fight. It ended up getting to sudden death. I thought that was a really interesting turn. You know what I'm saying? It was a really good moment for Hawk to have that moment. And then we get to the actual final fight, the main event, the very first female, All Valley Championship with Sam and Tori. And man, that was really dope as well. That went the distance. That got close, but man, Tori found out some things at the end of it that I feel like it just has me interested. I want to wait. I want to really rewatch that part and just see where they could possibly go with that. But there has definitely been some money floating around in this whole entire tournament, and that's going to be really interesting to see how that gets resolved, or I don't know. And that just shows to show you how smart Terry Silver is. He has all this money and influence. He buys all these people care packages and stuff like that, takes care of them and whatnot. So the season ends with, Kreese getting locked up because we got Stingray coming back, and Stingray is a devoted follower of Cobra Kai, but Kreese is not letting him in. He says, "You're not Cobra Kai material," pretty much, and he gets his ass whooped by Terry Silver. And Terry Silver says, "Yo, you could be Cobra Kai, but you're gonna have to do something for me." And that is where we get the setup, because now Stingray is in the hospital, and they're asking him questions on who attacked him, and pretty much Kreese is the fall guy. He gets arrested. He's out the way. Now Terry Silver is in complete control, and they got a championship underneath their belt. What's really interesting, though, also is Danny and Chosen are going to team up now to take down Cobra Kai, no matter what it takes. And Danny's finally embracing offense, and he's going to still keep that Miyagi-Do, but I feel like he's going to go in a much more aggressive direction. I feel like Johnny's going to kind of take a temporary back seat just to go find Miguel, and, they're going to have to kind of get him back. And we're going to have to wait for the next tournament, because we still have to have Miguel versus Robby, because that whole rivalry is going to still be a thing for a while. I thought this whole season to me was very solid. We had a lot of surprises, a lot of interesting characters. I really like Kenny as a new character. I'm wondering if they're going to bring in Mike Barnes into this since Kreese is out of the picture, because I don't know if Silver could take this whole thing by himself. I'm not sure. Overall, I really enjoyed the season. I like where these characters are going. The new ones, the old ones, old rivalries, new rivalries, new friendships, everything. Like I said, I don't got too much negative. I would say around 6 or 7, episode 6 or 7, that's like the slower parts of the season. Other than that, I thought it was really dope the way that everything came together. I'm looking forward to what they got going for season 5. If I missed anything, let me know. Feel free to have discussions among yourselves. Let me know your predictions for season 5. And I'll definitely try to get a panel together soon so we can discuss this season more in depth, because I think that's going to be a fun discussion. I definitely think some people might be at a disagreement. I'm curious to see how people's reaction are going to be with this season, with all the different changes and stuff. Is this going to be their worst season, or is it one of their best? Let me know your thoughts. I don't want to spend too much time or any longer on this review. It's already kind of been dragged out. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.